Hey everyone, hope everyone's doing well and staying safe these days. So I want to do a quick little review here and of course a little unboxing of the Microsoft mobile mouse over here. Take a look here. Now this is actually a slightly flattened or flatter version, so to speak, smaller, more mobile version of the original grayish silver looking mouse. So it's actually meant for Surface devices, and actually I believe came with the Surface Studio along with its counterpart keyboard. So these little devices have actually come out to be more of a counterpart with the mobile Surface devices, just as the Surface Pro and Surface Go and other devices as well too, including the laptops. This is a full Bluetooth mouse, does run off battery power. And let's just take a look here, not too much details in the back. I actually got this in the ice blue color since it actually does match the keyboard, the signature touch type Alcantara keyboard that I got my hands on for my Surface Pro 7. You can definitely check out the review of that as well too, so it's actually going to match up pretty well. So let's go ahead and get this opened up. Looks like some little tabs here. I wasn't really planning to get my hands on this mouse, but noticed that it was actually on sale on some retailers, maybe trying to promote the sale of these devices now at the Surface Pro 8 and other lineup devices have actually come by that look really well with it and match the colors. So that's probably one reason why this cute little device is actually just a little bit cheaper. Usually I think the regular price is around $30, $35, which is a little steep for a mouse like this, just a regular 2-button mouse with no LEDs or any other options like that. I have seen them ranging between $15 to $25, which is definitely a little cheaper. This little guy actually got for about $15.99, $16.99. Definitely available in other colors, mint, some red color, white, black, even some green colors as well too. So check it out if it's definitely an option for you. So let's go ahead and take this off. And you'll see here, there's your little mouse right here. Nice little plastic feeling for the most part. I'm gonna go ahead and lift it up. Now, as I mentioned before, this mouse is absolutely quite mobile and really flat. Like I said, I may not actually be using this. I did like the option though. I'm gonna go ahead and get my hands on it. As you know, Surface Pro devices and even though the Go tablets don't actually have regular USB-A ports much anymore. My Pro 7 actually does, but moving along to Pro 8, you see it just has 2 USB-C Thunderbolt USB ports. So using even a wireless mouse with an adapter may actually not be a feasible option here. So Bluetooth mouse would definitely work much better. And since this little guy was actually pretty cheap and of course kind of mobile and of course kind of matches the color, just thought I'd get my hands on actually one of them. I've definitely done mouse reviews before, and I immediately can tell you getting a grip on this mouse, particularly in my hands here, I wear like medium-sized gloves, is a little difficult, but mind you, unless you're actually going to be planning to use this mouse on a daily basis to do just basically everything, maybe even use it on a regular desktop computer, not something I'd probably recommend, but if you're just going to be using this to use as a counterpart for your Pro devices, Go devices, and mobile devices as well too, even though you do have the little touchpad option, but want to actually use this as a mouse with your Surface device on every now and then, this would definitely probably be a good way to go. So I'm just trying to go ahead and get a grip on it. It's a little bit tough because my hands are actually pretty big, but definitely does the trick for the most part. And it does actually feel pretty solid with the clicking particularly. And I'll go ahead and give you a little sound click test there in just a moment. So I really can't complain for the use I'm actually having to have in mind for this particular mouse. Let me go ahead and put the mic up real close and give you a little bit of sound test over here. And to go ahead and remove that little tab there that basically blocks the battery from being used. So now both of them are actually used. This little cover appears to be magnet, which is kind of convenient. I'm actually trying to get this back in now that looks like one battery popped out here. So I'm gonna just pop that back in. You see the little blue light. And without even trying anything, actually looks like a little notification appeared almost immediately on this little device here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and well, I'll just click yes for the time being. I can always change this particular Swift pair option. I'm guessing this is probably for devices that actually support it. So I just clicked on yes, and it looks like new Bluetooth mouse found. It should probably kick in just a moment. I'm gonna go ahead and click on connect. And there we go. So didn't really have to press any reset button under here. There is one available. Just show you there real quick. Sorry if, there we go. Just went ahead and zoomed in there. And it does have a little pairing button. So that's actually there if you do plan to, let's say, use this on another computer that's actually not a service device. But very likely you'll probably see a very similar notification as well too. You can actually see just showing a little aesthetics color there that they pretty much match the same. Funny little note I didn't mention about when I did the review on this particular signature type keyboard, it actually almost matches same color as a yoga mat I actually have from Manduka. And it almost is actually the same. And I think the color they actually picked out there is actually a thunder color, which more appeals more to the gray scheme there as opposed to the blue. But I have mentioned, I have heard a lot of mention that this particular color really represents more of a gray color. It kind of does like a mixed blue and gray color, and I've actually started to really notice the blue more and more, but still notice the gray. You can definitely tell if I said what color this is, you'll probably say it's gray. And of course the cover over here kind of appeals more to a bluish color, so can be a little misleading, so definitely keep that in mind if you do pick up ice blue colors. I do understand that some laptops like the Surface Laptop 4 also have this particular color. Can definitely say that the performance is actually pretty good. Really not much complaints so far. The device is working pretty well, works pretty smooth. If I actually had a good mouse pad over here, I'm sure this would actually feel much more pretty solid. Size-wise, this mouse is definitely on the smaller size, and I'll definitely go ahead and pull out my Roccat mouses just to actually show you. When compared to this particular Roccat mouse over here, you can definitely see the size difference. I'm going to go ahead and put them up side by side here and just try to align the top as much as I can. Quite a bit of a difference here, but definitely in terms of course, height. As I mentioned, this mouse is quite thin. And there's a good example. So basically my bigger hands, like I said, I'm basically like a medium size when I wear a glove. I have a really good grip on this particular mouse here. And I even have a smaller Roccat mouse over here. This is basically the cane mice right over here. And a little more similar here, but obviously in terms of height, it's still that big, huge difference here. So I understand if this is more of a portable mouse, it definitely does fill that particular field here, that particular plateau of being like a more portable mouse. And I've seen mice this small before. In a previous workplace I've had some years back, I remember I was deploying some laptops with docking stations and new keyboard and mice for a bunch of users. And one little thing that came with this particular Lenovo laptop and the setup here was this small teeny weeny mouse that definitely is probably a little smaller than this one, maybe about this height. Maybe you might have actually seen them online somewhere. I still have one in the bag, and I can never actually use that mouse. It's absolutely unusable for me. So this mouse is probably definitely larger and more closer in size to regular like Roccat mouse or just a size like that. But one thing that really does defeat the use of this for me long term is just basically the height of it. So if anything, if they really want to counter that, they can probably just make this mouse just ever so slightly larger, which will allow maybe for try to kind of assist with a little bit of grip and help a little bit. Because obviously when I'm holding this mouse here, the entire part of my wrist is already like so much on the, you can kind of see that, so much on the table here that I start literally friction around a little bit that I have to kind of lift my hand up a little bit. Which is okay. Like I said, I do not plan to use this mouse long term. I probably wouldn't recommend buying this if you're gonna get your hands on it for over $30, depending which color you actually pick up. But if you do see it on sale, it really does play as a really nice counterpart to your Surface device, particularly a device like the Surface Pro 8 or the Surface Go tablet, which does not have native regular USB Type-A ports on it, only Type-C ports, which may be a little troubling when you want to plug in one of those wireless adapters. Kind of enjoying using this mouse so far right now. It really makes this Surface Pro, like I said, just really feel more like a laptop or desktop. I'm a laptop user. Actually, let me take that back. I'm not particularly a big laptop user for the most part, even though the Pro 7 has kind of changed my mind a little bit about that, just because, I don't know, laptops are really more just for travel. Just for me, and of course to watch a movie on a plane or something like that, maybe even taking an Amtrak train along the East Corridor. And This particular device has really like changed my view on that. I love taking this particular device with the keyboard everywhere and of course using it. Of course, as many people I've worked with over the years, I am not a big fan of trackpads, even though fortunately in this case I have to actually use it. Not really, because I also have the touchscreen option. But sometimes I just find myself really desiring to use a mouse. And of course, plugging in my Roccat mouse I just showed you earlier is possible on the Pro 7 because there is a USB Type-A port on it. However, this really, like I said, really does work out to be a really good counterpart to this particular device I'm using here. And if I ever do get my hands on additional devices as well, probably be a really good counterpart as well too. Sorry if that's not focusing really well, but here, let me just go ahead and give you an entire look of the mouse here. It's, of course, trying to focus on the tablet. It likes the tablet more than the mouse. One little thing I wish this thing had was like an off button, because the only way to really turn this thing off without, let's say I just didn't want to use it with the tablet, which is probably going to be most of the time. So I guess if anything, I just pull the batteries out. A little cumbersome, but as I said, I won't be using this too much, so no big deal. Well, hope everyone enjoyed that short little video here. Go ahead and shoot that like and subscribe button if you found this video useful, you enjoyed it, or definitely look forward to checking out some more reviews and whatnot. I will definitely be having some more shortly. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and as always, stay safe. Take care.